Welcome. In this video, we will discuss about a very agitated issue at present day, which is the MSP. So you must have known about the farmers' protest which is going on in Delhi, and one of the major demands from the farmer side is to provide the MSP as the right, as well as to ensure that MSP is not dismembered because of the passing of the new three bills. So this is the context. We will discuss what MSP is all about, which committee or body is responsible for deciding the price for MSP, what is the present formula, and the associated issues with it. So let's start. So one of the major demand of protesting farmer has been that the government guarantee in writing that the minimum support price system which ensured them of a fixed price for their crop, which is 1.5 times of the cost of production. So you must have known that recently, like 2 years back, in the union budget announcement, government has made and to ensure that the MSP would be provided at 1.5 times of the production cost. What is MSP? As the name suggests, it is the minimum support price, which means at any situation the crops which are under the listed as the which could avail the benefit under the MSP would be at least have to be bought at that price, which is the minimum support price. So that is the one of the major demand from the farmers who are protesting in Delhi, that they should be like government should give that in guarantee that their MSP will not go away anytime. Farmer union are protesting against the newly elected three farm bills and the electricity amendment bill of 2020. So these are the two bills they are majorly protesting against. So three farm bill, one is the Essential Commodities Act, the other one is relating to the farming contract, and the third one, which is the major point of contention, is actually regarding the changes in the APMC Mandi system. So these three acts are the one which are contentious, and apart from that there is also a bill which kind of go away with the electricity subsidy. So the farmers are protesting against these bills. What is now MSP as a definition? So it is a minimum price for any crop that the government considers as remunerative for farmers and hence deserving of support. So this is the definition you should remember, because way back in 2018 mains examination UPSC did asked about what is MSP. So just remember the definition, that it is the minimum price for any crop which is listed, which is like suggested by the government. So for that price, the minimum price which the government considers as remunerative for farmers. So for any price which could be considered that okay, this is the minimum which will be like remunerative for the farmer, they decided as the MSP. It is also the price that government agency pay whenever they procure the particular crop. For an example, Food Corporation of India procure the rice and wheat at a certain price. So at that price is what is your MSP. Union budget for 2018-19 had announced that the MSP would be kept at levels of 1.5 times of the cost of protection. So this is what was announced in the budget 18-19, that the MSP would be 1.5 times. So there has been issues related to the cost at which that 1.5 times is calculated, but that we will discuss in the later slide. So let's start. So which is the entire regime for the MSP? Which crops get the benefit of being listed in the MSP? So let's start by understanding how it is formed. So the Commission for Agriculture Cost and Prices CACP recommends the MSP for 22 mandated crops and fair and numerative price for the sugarcane. So just understand MSP and fair and remunerative price of sugarcane is the same thing. For sugarcane it is called as FRP. For the other 22 crops which are decided by the CP, it is called as MSP. Now what is CACP? So CACP is an attached office of the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Affairs. So basically CACP is under the aegis of Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. It came into existence in 1965. So this body has been in place since like a few years after the independence, since 1965. This is working as an attached office to the Ministry of Agriculture. It is an advisory body whose recommendation are not binding on the government. Now this is a very important point for you to understand, that CACP is only an advisory body. It will only recommend the MSP to the government, and it is up to government at the end of the day to whether approve it or whether not. So this is the thing that you need to know about CACP. The mandated crops include 14 crops of the Kharif season, 6 Rabi crops and 2 other commercial crops. So this is what you can call as the basket of the crops which are included under the MSP. In addition, MSP of Toria and Dehurst coconut are fixed on the basis of MSPs of the rapeseed mustard and copra respectively. So for Toria, it is actually the mustard MSP on which it will be decided, and for coconut, Dehurst coconut, it will be copra on which it will be decided. So in total, if you can see, Toria and Dehurst coconut are also under the regime of MSP only. So what are all these crops which are listed? So they are follow. So we have 7 cereals, which is paddy, wheat, barley, jowar, bajra, maize and ragi. So these are the cereals which are under the MSP. Then for pulses we have gram, ahar, or at some places it is also called as tur, moong, urad and lentils. So these are the pulses which are under the MSP. For oil seeds we have groundnut, rapeseed or mustard, Toria, soya bean, sunflower, seed, sesame, sunflower, then seed and the nigger seed. So these are the oils which are also included under the MSP. Then for example, we have the commercial crops also, like we have cotton, we have jute, copra and Dehurst coconut. And apart from that, we just discussed FRP for the sugarcane. So these are the list of crops for which there is a minimum support price which is guaranteed by the government. CACP considered various factors while recommending the MSP for a commodity, including the cost of cultivation. So just remember on what basis CAP suggests that these crops should be given MSP. One of is the cost of cultivation. Apart from that, it also took into account the supply and demand situation for the commodity, like what is the demand in the market and what is the production value at present, the market price trend, like how the market price has been trending, and parity vis-a-vis other crops, like as compared to other crop, what is the market trend for this particular crop, implication for the consumer, like will it lead to inflammatory standards for the consumer, or what kind of effect it will have on consumer, environment, like how environment friendly or unfriendly it is for the environment, and the terms of trade between agriculture and non-agriculture sectors, like how important is the crop for the non-agriculture sectors as well. So these are the certain criteria according to which CACP decides the MSP, like decide the crop for which MSP would be given. Now let's try to understand how the MSP is actually calculated. So first of all, the budget for 2018-19, as discussed earlier, announced that the MSP would henceforth be fixed at 1.5 times of the production of cost for a predetermined principle. So this is the principle which is going to be followed, and it will be 1.5 times. Now going forward, which means that the CACP job is now only to estimate production cost for a season and recommend the MSPs by applying the 1.5 times formula. So this is actually again one of the point where the farmers did protest. So the agriculturalists, that 1.5 times formula is based on what cost exactly. So this is how it is calculated. The CACP does not do any field-based cost estimate itself. Now this is an important factor, that CACP does not go on field and actually determine the cost. It makes projection, and through what data it is making projection, it uses state-wise crop specific production cost estimate provided by the Directorates of Economic and Statistics in the Agriculture Ministry. So this is where it gets its data. So it does not do field inspection on its own. CACP gets the data from the Director of Economics and Statistics in the Agriculture Ministry, and based on that it makes projection. The latter are, however, generally available in the 3-year lag. So this is also one of the major issue, that this data through which the CACP actually end up calculating the MSP is with a 3-year lag, and 3 years is a lot of time. So CACP projects three kinds of production cost for every crop, both at state and all India average level. So these are the three types: A2, A2 plus FL and C2. These are the three type of projection that the CACP does. What is A2? A2 covers all paid out costs directly incurred by the farmer in cash and kinds on seed, fertilizer, pesticides, hired labor, leased in land, fuel, irrigation. It's like whatever A2 is the cost, whatever the farmer is paying in cash or in kind for everything which is required for him to get a harvest, which includes the seeds, fertilizer, pesticides, labor, land, fuel, irrigation, everything included. That will be the component of A2. Then what is A2 plus FL? So A2 plus FL includes A2 plus imputed value of unpaid family labor, which means that FL is actually family labor. That we know that agriculture is the sector which has the maximum number of disguised unemployment, which means family members are also employed into agriculture, which is not needed over there. So such kind of family labor is also included when we are talking about A2 plus FL. So apart from all the other costs which is required, it also include the component of family labor. Then finally we have C2. It is a more comprehensive cost that factors in rentals and interest foregone on owned land and fixed capital asset on top of A2 plus FL. So the idea is C2 will be more comprehensive in its approach. The cost of production will not only be like what incurred, but also in the terms of what kind of interest has been foregone. So if they have went ahead and lent something, what is the interest they paid on loan, or all these things will be included in C2. So this is the formula, or these are the three components which CACP decide the cost of production. One is A2 is very straightforward. A2 plus FL include the family labor as well. C2 includes the component which is not very visible but is actually something incurred by the farmer, including the interest foregone on the own land as well as on the rentals and the fixed capital assets. So all these terms are also included in C2. Now, what are the issues with the pricing? So, in the 2018-19 budget speech, the government did not specify the cost on which 1.5 times formula was to be computed. Now, this is something which became a contentious point, that government did not decide that at what cost, whether it's going to be A2, A2 plus FL or C2. Government does not decide what will be the base on which the 1.5 times formula would be calculated. CACP's price policy with Kharif crop, the marketing season 2018-19 report stated that its MSP recommendation was based on 1.5 times of A2 plus FL. So this is what has been on ground. That is what happened, that 1.5 times which farmers is getting is actually the cost of A2 plus FL. Farm activists demand that the 1.5 times MSP formula, originally recommended by the National Commission for Farmers headed by the agriculture scientist MS Swaminathan, should be applied on the C2 cost. So this is the point of contention, that as of now government is providing at A2 plus FL, which if you see is the direct cost which is applied, but from the perspective of the farmer, it is actually the C2 cost which he is incurring at the end of the day. So his demands, or the farmers association demand, is that 1.5 times of C2 should be given to them. So this is the contention point. Now what is the government stand, how the government has tried to talk about it? So CACP considered all cost in a comprehensive manner, which is based on the methodology recommended by the expert committees from time to time. CACP considers both A2FL plus C2 cost while recommending MSP. So this is what government has said, that it is not only A2 plus FL, it is actually C2 also which has been considered while recommending the MSP. CACP reckons only A2 plus FL cost for return. However, C2 costs are used by CACP primarily as benchmark reference cost. So that's the stand of government, that even though it look like we are only using A2 plus FL, but we are also considering the C2 cost. So eventually it is the exact cost of production which a farmer would incur, and above that 1.5 times is what they are getting into MSP. This is what the government is saying. So we, in this particular video, we discuss what is MSP. So this is the minimum price which the government find that will be remunerative for the farmers, and hence it is also the one support. So this is like the minimum price. Recently, there has been protest going on in the Delhi in order the farmers are asking that the government withdraw the three farm bills that it has introduced recently, which include the Essential Commodity Act. What is the content of that? Go ahead and check it out. There is an act on farming contracts, and there is again most contention one is the APMC Mandi Act changes. So these are the three laws which has come into picture. Apart from that, there is also a law to do away with the electricity subsidy, and that is also being like the farmers in Delhi are protesting against it. So this is the recent context. For your examination point of view, remember the definition of MSP. Remember when 1.5 times was announced by the government, it was budget 2018-19, or which cost it is associated A2 plus FL. What does it exactly mean? What is C2? And apart from that, also try to understand what is the role of CACP in recommending the crops and which all crops are actually under the regime of MSP. So these are the things that you need to know. If you have any doubt, feel free to drop a comment. Thank you.